Okay. Hello. I don't know ASMR. All I know is speak quiet and make sounds. Okay. Oh fuck. Hello. I hear myself. I don't want to hear myself. Let's see. I was thinking about this and I was like, I feel like oh, my headphones are oh. Okay, there we go. Now I have the sound in both headphones. I don't know what the new Fortnite game mode is. I haven't played Fortnite in forever. I may have bought the Kitsune figure, or not figure, pet. I still have not actually played it. Shh. Listen here, Gray. It's cute. He does a little dancey dance. Alright, I'm gonna pin this. And if somebody actually fucking does this, I'm gonna like piss myself, dude. I think that'd be really fucking funny. I've been thinking about it since I was like, oh, I'll do like an ASMR stream while I'm drawing. I was like, what if somebody wants me to say that? I'm like, if somebody wants me to say that, they better be paying me some fucking money, man. I need to see, like, how close, because I don't think this goes down any lower. Listen, Gray, I gotta make money somehow. And if some people are freaks and want to hear a fox say good girl, then they better pay up. I wonder, can you guys hear if I'm like drawing on here? Can you guys? I don't think that's picking up at all. You did get that one for free. You're welcome. What do people like for ASMR? They like to be or sniffies. I watched Kira do ASMR, but even then, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not an ASMR person. Hi, Snooey. Welcome into chat. We're trying ASMR today. I don't know exactly what to do. So, like, I guess if you guys want anything specific, just let me know. It's just special things will need to be paid for. Like, if you want me to say certain things. And I'm wondering if I have my mic close enough to my thing. Can you guys hear that at all? Of course, burps remain free. I can't make myself burp anyways. Oh, what? That's some bullshit. Oh, so if the Minecraft music is too loud at some point, let me know, guys. Gray, can you hear this? Did my mic pick up any of that pen scratching at all? Very quietly. Hold on. Okay. I turned up my mic, so let's see. I can see it actually hitting the mic now, so... Okay. I moved the mic closer and then I turned it up, so I think it's actually picking it up now properly. Sorry, I had a cough. I don't think coughing's good for ASMR. Might need to turn down the music a little bit. Okay. Music turned down. And I just realized I'm not seeing the chat on the screen. So hold on, guys. Let me fix that. I might have to pause every now and again to cough. But that's okay. Asami is yelling. Asami. Asami, speak to the chat. Asami. Ma'am? Asami. Are you gonna scream? She's just smelling very heavily right now. Back to the chair you go. No 50-year-old smoker cough for you. We don't do that here. You want me to cough on stream? You better pay me for it. Oh, I think the music's too low now. Hold on. I don't see it popping up at all. There we go. I do have water today, compared to my usual sodas and stuff and everything. If the music is too loud again, ever we can go lower. Want you to talk on stream, pay up. Yeah, that's right. You want me to say a sentence? $5 per sentence. I'm not cheap. I gotta get the references again. I want you to stream in the first place. Open your wallet, make a bowl of mac and cheese, and stir it. I don't think I actually have any mac and cheese left in the house. So I cannot do Kraft mac and stir. ASMR is just weird noises that my body makes as I am sitting here. Right? It's a wonderful start. You know y'all love it. So that's the skirt. Sorry, I had to blow my nose suddenly. Crush a can or a figure. Thanks, Max. I can crush a water bottle. Does that work? Is that satisfying? It's even open this time. Close enough. I do have a can. Booker's won both of your games. Sit at a goal. Oh no. That sucks, dude. A gabagool sandwich? And a pinky ring? Fuck with me? What? I'm very confused right now. What is a gabagool sandwich? You got this, Foxy. I believe in you. Capical for the non-New Jerseyans? What the fuck is Capical? I'm very confused right now. Okay, that is a sock. Peek the mic. Is that peeking enough? Dinosaur meeting call ASMR. I don't know dinosaur noises. So you're just getting random noises. I think that worked. I didn't think you would actually do it. I was joking. Listen, man, I don't know ASMR shit. If y'all request something, I'll do it. Unless it's something that should be paid for, then I will tell you you had to pay for it. I wish we could get a random ass raid right now. Uh, a raid would be great, but I also just started the stream, so I highly doubt that I would get a random raid. Hi, Rose. Hi, lovely. Rose gets good girl for free. I'm in my car. That was loud as shit. Just so we can confuse the random newcomers with your dinosaur screeches. That would be funny. Hi, Rose. Mwah. Oh, I do not want that to copy paste. There we go. I am very coffee for some reason. Send help. All of the help. Rose. Rose, I need you to kiss it better. Please. I require all of the kisses, Rose. Asami. No, ma'am. Oh, that is the wrong pen. I apparently have the little hiccups. So you guys are getting obligatory tiny hiccup ASMR. You are not getting throat clearing ASMR, however. That would be rude. Boo. Boo. But you want me to into the mic? That's a clip. I haven't had a clippable moment in what feels like forever. I thought I was gonna sneeze and then it's not coming out. I am confusion. Oh, ow. Let's see. I'm not very good at the whole like continuously talking. Please, please, please let me reach gold. Ganbate, ganbate. I think is ganbate. You can do it. Hell yeah. Yatta. I'm proud of you, man. It is. Yippee. I remembered Nihongo correctly. Saying Nihongo makes me sound really fucking stupid, man. Oh, you gotta win a gold ranked game? Damn, dude, good luck. Oh, yeah. I know like Japan is Nihongo or whatever, but I don't know. The way I said it made me sound really stupid. I remember Nihongo. Like one of those high school girls obsessed with like Japanese culture. Like you know the have you seen the TikToks where they like make fun of like the people who um who are like, "Oh my god, senpai, you're so baka. How do you do that?" On like TikTok. Like, why are you like this, senpai? You're so baka. Baka baka. Man, our coworker came in sick yesterday, and I swear to God, if this bitch got me sick, I don't think I got sick once last year, outside of like headaches. I was wrong. Nihongo is Japanese, not Japan. Yeah. Hey yo, ASMR. Hi, Rolly. I'm waiting for somebody to like fucking take the whole coffee thing and actually pay me to say something. I'm waiting for it. I've got like a whole voice change prepared and everything. I am doing ASMR today, but it's mostly just me talking because I don't really do ASMR. I don't listen to ASMR. I have a single friend who does ASMR that I can actually listen to because her stuff doesn't like drive me crazy. Uh, but I don't really know ASMR, so it's kind of like if you want me to do something, like I guess tappies or sniffies or something like that, just like let me know and I'll do shit. There's just specific things you'll have to like pay for. But I'm working on secret art commissions, and it's either I try an ASMR stream or we're watching fucking Hell's Kitchen again. And I think there's only so much Hell's Kitchen I can watch with everybody before I'm like, okay, I need to try something else. Yeah. If you want the good girl slash boy, it's $5. Smoker cough, $10. Smoker cough is because apparently I have some phlegm stuck in the back of my throat that does not want to get out, so I keep having to cough for some reason. Also, your 16-inch sandwich? I don't think Subway makes them that long. From a local place. Oh, and of course, dinosaur mating call, $25. Yeah. I think 4 inches would have been enough. Maybe too much, honestly. That's what she said. Oh, that's not a bad looking sandwich, honestly. They put a lot of meat on that thing and a lot of lettuce. That looks so good compared to what Subway does half the time. There's a very obvious joke to be made here. I think I made the very obvious joke. Gabagool, Yellow American, the works, and Chipotle mayo. Oh, gabagool's like an actual like food. Ah, okay. That makes so much more sense now. Capicola, but made it into gabagool. I still don't know what capicola is either. What is the gabagool specifically? Boiled ham with stuff in it. Interesting. Boiled ham does not sound like a very fun texture. It's very good. I will take your word for it, but I'm not a big ham person. Normal deli meat texture. Okay. I'm not a big deli meat person, but I had the store that I used to work at had this specific brand, and they had a pepper turkey that was like fucking crack, dude. Whenever they would cut some at work, the deli boss would cut me a few slices extra so that I could have some of the pepper turkey meat. because she knew how much I liked the pepper turkey meat. uh, oh no. You're having a rough time of it over there, huh, Foxy? Please put me with disgusting people. Disgustingly good people, I assume. Reddit mods. I pray for your Reddit mod matchmaking. Serious winter storm approaching, with impacts beginning soon. Slow, ice, crashing temperatures. Tap for Matthew Capucci's update. I'm sorry, I don't know why I had to read that out loud to you guys. My brain was like, oh, this will be so fucking funny to read this, like, weirdly sensually, and it's just a fucking weather update. By the way, if you pay to have the one thing said on coffee, you'll get it in that like weird voice or whatever. I don't know. I've thought about exactly how I will say it if somebody actually pays for it. And I think I'm gonna piss myself fucking laughing after it happens if I do actually have to do it. You won? Hell yeah. I'm so proud of you. Sounds like you got your Reddit mods, huh? You did all the goals. The goals. Hell yeah, dude. Huh? Oh no? Oh no. So, are you like playing soccer or something in Fortnite? Because that's the only thing I could. Thanks, Rose. That is the only thing that I can think of that you're doing. Is playing like the. Just lurking, by the way. That's perfectly fine, dude. No obligation to talk here. Basketball mixed with football. Interesting. I've been imagining that you've been playing the what do you call it? What is that um game mode or whatever where they you're playing fuck. Win 7 times is crazy. It's the where you play in the car and you have to like hit the ball back and forth with the car or whatever. That's what I've been imagining this whole time. It would appear as though that I am incorrect. Yeah, Rocket League. Soccer is fun. I like soccer. I played in a soccer league when I was little. I took a ball to the fucking gut, dude. That shit hurted. I mean, fair. I don't like watching sports, but I do like playing sports. And I did really enjoy soccer when I was younger. Or baseball. I can't hit balls worth a shit. I can't play baseball. Baseball is the only sport that doesn't suck. Every put a thing in the other team's thing. It's all the same sport, hockey and college football on top. I don't like sports at all, really. I just like playing soccer because I like kicking the ball around. Same sport with different fonts. I did play tennis when I was younger in school. I didn't really care for it because my stepdad made me play it. But I did play it like all of middle school. Those are the eyelashes. I'm gonna give them blue eyelashes. Sorry, Sports Anchor me, because they suck. I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinions.
What the dog doing?
The dog is doing ASMR ish. The dog is attempting to do ASMR. The dog does not understand ASMR, but the dog has decided that either it is going to do ASMR or rewatch Hell's Kitchen again. So I am giving ASMR a try. The dog is very unsure about this. Initial D. Isn't that another, like, it's like a sport anime, isn't it? Or was that the motorcycle anime that the Akira slide came from? I recognize the name, the anime is but the AE86. What the fuck is that? Oh no, what did you do with the most beautiful car? Oh no. Okay, so Initial D, is that an anime about a car? Like I think that's the car racing anime, right? Get a win in platinum? Oh god. My friend Shadow did actually recently completely delete Fortnite off of his computer. There's like years of playing this game. He's like, I think I'm done. And he deleted it. You guys get finger cracking ASMR. I'm at work, so I can't hear anything. Damn. That sucks for you, Rose. I don't know what that was. I just wanted to do it. And now I suddenly have vertigo. What the fuck? feel like a fucking bulldog. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, guys. Zombie from 7 Days to Die. I'm playing that. Whoops. Accidentally making you think there was a zombie. Wait. I got this. I don't know if they have zombies that sound like that in 7 Days to Die, but you're welcome. Yum yum. Right, hold on. I need to rename a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to give you guys some keys tapping ASMR. Alright, I am done renaming things. Are always forget how much stuff goes into the eye alone. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 pieces to these eyes. And I don't know if you guys have ever actually watched those videos of other people making eyes and everything on VTuber models. These people will put like 20, 30 odd things into the eye. I can't handle all of that. I do what I need to do in the eye, and then I'm done. Oh, fuck. That was a good stretch. That was really loud out of nowhere. What the fuck? Scared the fuck out of me. I'm sorry. I clicked onto another tab because I was checking something. And apparently I had clicked on one of the videos on like Twitter or whatever. And it unmuted itself, so it was really fucking loud. You came here for like fun little ASMR. Joke's on you. You're gonna get the shit scared out of you because I'm stupid and somehow played something at full fucking volume. Send help. I'm stupid, guys. I fucked up. But it's okay, I fixed it. I was stupid for only a little bit. What if I whispered like this the rest of the fucking stream? I'll tweak if you whisper. I don't like I don't like whispering in ASMR streams. I'm already not like an ASMR person, actually. Funnily enough, the fact that I'm fucking doing this is already really fucking weird. Um but yeah, no, I definitely cannot do whispering when it comes to ASMR streams, dude. That shit's so fucking weird. I had an ex used to whisper while talking and I already had 50 fit. Oh no. I am so sorry, dude. What the fuck? I will never understand people who do not like respect their partners. It's like that's your partner. The fuck you mean you're just gonna disrespect them and not like acknowledge something that they don't like? Like it's not that hard. I don't know if it was our conversations were what? What? I don't know if it was respect things. She was just raised in a quiet house. I was raised in a loud house. Yeah, I was raised in a loud house too. And like it makes it really hard for me to register like the volume of my voice usually. I will talk a lot louder than I actually need to. Um, it drives my girlfriend crazy because we could be like in the middle of a grocery store and it's like I'm basically yelling. And like I don't do it on purpose, you know. Noise canceling headphones. I don't realize I'm yelling. Oh no. I don't even need headphones to do all that. I'm just naturally like very loud for no reason. It just happens when I'm like talking to people in general. My knees, my knees are killing me. Oh wow. I am making surprisingly good progress. Like, more than I thought I would, honestly. Are you guys ready for the freeze tomorrow? I think some of the countries definitely are already in a freeze, but I'm getting that like flash freeze shit tomorrow. I'm both ready and not ready. I'm ready for it to be like cold for a little bit, but I'm not ready for like what it's gonna bring, you know? You know what I mean? I live in Texas, so people are like extra crazy when it comes to cold weather. Probably tired during this week's UFC card. I'm gonna be pissed. Norbit in Discord tonight. Norbit? It's Norbit. A Slot Fest movie by Eddie Murphy. Ah. See, I appreciate the invite, but I work till basically almost 10 o'clock. Oh, sorry. You guys are getting like cherries. Oh, I'm tired of sitting up straight. Okay. I have reclined. I am comfy while I work on this art. Yeah, that's why I stream in the daytime like I do, because I work the afternoon shifts, and then on specific days, I wish I worked nights, to be honest. Well, see, I work at a restaurant actually, so it's not that fun because I have to deal with like the dinner rush shit and everything. Are there any more spaces? I did miss a space. Two shops with peak hours, 6 to 2:30. The other was 10:30 to 7. Was in the bar by 8:30. You know, I work at a Mediterranean grill, and I work the afternoon shift. So like, you know, like the daytime grill cook can go home and everything. Can be a mechanic. I don't know the first thing about cars. I know nothing about cars, dude. I mean, yeah. I don't know if mechanic work is like the job for me though, you know? You know what I mean? I want to be a streamer. I want to stream all day. I want to sit here and talk to my chat and never have to work again. That is the dream. But that's a very hard reality to make. Especially because I'm going on doing this for almost 5 years now. And this is how far I've gotten in 5 years. So, like, I don't know. It's a little bit more of a pipe dream right now. I mean, it earns me like money on the side. So, I'll take it. And then I do art commissions. So, it helps out with like focusing on doing my art commissions. But yeah. I don't think I guess I'm not entertaining enough. I don't know. Or I just haven't found my right niche. My art streams tend to do pretty well. So I don't know. The only issue is I definitely have like carpal tunnel. So I can only like draw but so much usually. And I actually had a really bad flare up this week. So that was why I couldn't really actually do anything. And why I haven't been working on commissions. But my hand is finally on the mend. For now. It'll always act up again eventually. But it's working for now. So we are utilizing it while it's working. 2 years to find your niche. Yeah. I don't know. I do what I want to do, really. I know there's like niches you can have and things that people will like want from you. I've done a lot of like what I want to do, basically. Um, and I know that I can work, but it can also not work. So, I don't know. I don't think I'll ever stop streaming per se. Yeah, you carve your own niche. That's kind of what I'm working on right now. Is making my own little niche in the streaming world. Especially in the VTubing world, where it has slowly become more and more little like overrun. But that's okay. I can work with it. I'm already an artist in a world that is overrun with artists. So, and especially right now with the AI bullshit, it's better to have 3 amazing friends than 100 okay friends. Hell yeah. That I totally get that. Because I do love the community that I've built, and I would hate to ever lose what I do have if I made it big. Because I like interacting with people and getting to know my chat. And I'd like to be big enough to make money eventually, like properly. But I don't want to be so big that, like, I lose the plot, basically. Oh no. Yeah, see, I absolutely hate the way that I look. Like, I'm not bad looking per se, I guess, but I've always had very, very, very bad, like, self esteem issues with how I look. Even, like, when I was younger, like, I guess we're delving in deep with the ASMR today into my background or whatever. I don't know. I was 86 pounds in 10th grade. And for context, I'm 4'10. So I was very tiny. But I always kind of felt overweight even at that size. At that weight. And now I'm 170. I was, as a child, so worried about my weight, and now here I am, definitely overweight. Um, a lot of it comes to probably having PCOS, so it's also something like I can't medically do a lot about because I live in a society where you have to pay, to go to the fucking doctor, and I never had the money to go to the doctor. 550 down to 380. Hell yeah, dude. I'm so proud of you. That's so fucking good, dude. Also, I might go by she, her, but if you say brother, I understand like what you mean. It's like bro, broski. I get it. I will never be offended. Listen, I will be proud of you because that means you are on the track to your goal weight. That is what, almost 200 pounds? That is a phenomenal feat. A lot of people struggle with a weight loss like that. I am so beyond proud of you. You are doing absolutely amazing. Keep up the good work. But yeah, I know it's not the worst compared to most people, but it has led to a lot of, you know, not enjoying how I look. So I really enjoy the whole aspect of VTubing because it lets me be a lot more comfortable than I would be if I was like face cam streaming. I I think it's also because I am a girl and people love to hold girls to like ridiculous standards. And even though like I know I shouldn't hold myself to those standards as well, I can't help it because I've been that way since like I was a child. So VTubing is like so nice. So nice. It's helped out a lot for me. Short kings rise up. We stand short kings in this household. I stopped growing in fucking middle school. I am very, very tiny. I am technically, by the little people of America, a legal midget. I am the last peg for short people. Shut up, Rose. I'm gonna beat you up. You're short too, bitch. Last pegged. No, 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 no. I am the last peg on the totem pole for midget heights. 4'10" is the last height you can be to be considered a legal midget. Not being pegged. Thanks, Rose. That's just what I've always wanted. I'm an EP girl. Love you too, Rose. Bitch. What did I come back to? What? It's okay. Rose is an IRL friend. She gets what she deserves. Or they get what they deserve. Being called a bitch. Because they're a bitch. Why isn't this? Oh. I was like, why isn't this coloring? I'd somehow turned the opacity all the way down to 0. I'm just a little bit stupid. It's okay.
Lizard.
Lizard. Rose, you have the closed captions on. When I say a cursed word, is it actually like hiding the curse words? Or do you still see them? You legit panicked. Not everything comes through on captions. Okay. So you didn't hear me call you a bitch. Or I guess read me calling you a bitch. Bitcha-chan. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My feet are cold. Huh? Hey. Meow. Oh, I accidentally put the eyebrows with the cat ears. Where's the eyebrows? What the fuck? When I hide the cat ears, they hide. Not that layer, not that layer, not that layer, not that layer. Huh? I am confusion. I am working on a VTuber model commission right now. Well, Olive. That's why I'm doing ASMR stream, because I can't show this model on stream right now. But I forgot that I drew eyebrows, and every time I hide the cat ears, the eyebrows disappear. But the cat ears aren't actually on any layers. Olive. Olive. Come on. Hello, child. And Olive has come to sit in my lap. Can you guys hear any of her purring? Oh, Liv. Whoop. He's so silly. She's so fluffy. Oh. Oh, I am stupid. That's why I attached it to all of the ear layers. Oh no. Oh, I am so stupid. Oh. Oh no. Okay, so we're hiding. Ugh. Sorry, she decided she wanted to jump off of me. Oh, I am so fucking stupid. How did I manage that? I can't believe I did this to myself. I mean, I can believe it, but I also can't believe it. And I only just fucking noticed. It's okay. I fixed it. I fixed it. It's okay, guys. I might be stupid, but I'm only temporarily stupid. It has been fixed. I am stupid yet again. What the fuck? It's okay. It's okay. We are slowly figuring it out and fixing things. We'll get there somehow, someday, some way. Big slime? Where? Do you wish for me to make big slime noises? That would be very funny, arguably. You're actively losing it. I say big slime noises, but it'd be more like listening to someone try to mimic mac and cheese, and I think that'd be really kind of gross. Olive! Olive! You can't go back there. There's nothing for you, child. Ew. Well, Olive, stop scratching the poster, child. There's nothing behind that poster for you. Hold on. I need to put her fucking toy up. She's being restless. Hold on, Olive. Alright. Your local Fennec Fox Kitsune is back. Please hold while she adjusts in her seat. I have sat up because I am tired of leaning back now. Extreme cold for your county expires in 3 days and 22 hours. Wait, no. Let's see. My radar. Winter storm warning for your county expires in 2 days and 5 hours. Extreme cold warning in your county expires in 2 days and 22 hours. Extreme cold watch in your county expires in 3 days and 22 hours. Wow. Extreme cold. Wow. It's hot. You had to take off your house slippers. How scandalous. No house slippers? Oh. Nah, I get it. I normally don't wear my slippers around. But we do have some hardwood floors. The dogs are out of bargain. That's the sound of your dog hitting the corner of a door. I'm sorry, that was really fucking stupid. Excuse me. If my dumbass dog starts barking again. Oh no. The only downside to owning dogs. Consistent barking. I can copy that. Yum. Yum. Num. 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 I'm not stinky. Should have a little movie playing in the corner. I love getting random subscription notifications because I got gifted a sub for somebody that I just happened to, like, I was watching somebody else and they rated to this person, and I don't follow this person, but I will randomly get subscriptions to people like that because I just get thrown off to somebody and I'm like, what? Who are you? Do you guys want dancing fruit in the corner? Because this ASMR stream isn't really doing anything. I'm just talking really quietly today. There's not really any ASMR happening. Brain rot, dancing commence. I actually actively listen to r slash. I listen to his stuff all the time. Gonna send me a link, oh boy. Brain rot in the corner. Four hours of no sleep, dear God. You're good. Oh, that's kind of loud. A little loud. Dancing fruit. And it's a live stream, so I don't have to worry about the video ending. Splendid. You know, we will definitely listen to Reddit stories when I am not doing a ASMR test stream, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I'll do this again unless I have like actually something I want to do. Like if I know what I need to do for the ASMR. This one's kind of just a test run to see how people feel about it. And if anyone wants to ask me to like do stuff or something, you know, like tapping on the mic or sniffing. I was wondering why the screen was still black. Hello. This is a weird beat. It's like they're farting constantly. Rude. I don't like the music. I'll still keep it up with them dancing, but I don't like this. We're going back to the Minecraft music. Put on the spooky stories. I don't know. Is it a spooky story kind of day? How does that sound if I'm speaking like with my mouth against the mic? Does this sound weird at all? Fine. I guess we can listen to some spooky stories today.
for today's video, I just want to thank you all so much for the support you have shown on my videos. It really just means everything in the world to me. That people online just care about this little project that I have going. Thank you so much, and I'm so grateful and happy. It means everything. For 5,000, I wanted to take some of my favorite stories I've read on the channel so far and sort of just throw them into a compilation. If you have heard any of these before, I will have timestamps in the description in case you want to flip back and forth between these. I promise I will have some more content for you guys in the next couple of days. I thank you all so much for the support you have shown, and please, please enjoy. I watched a cartoon show that never existed. When I was a kid, from around the ages of 2 to 10, I always watched the same show after school, Dandy's Wondrous Adventures. It was a show that I had kept tabs on ever since I was a baby. It had been a while with me since the beginning, and for good reason. Even as an adult, I can point out the many lessons the show taught me as a boy. How to tie my shoe, how to properly eat, how to keep up with conversations, etc. It was a much needed show for a kid of my upbringing. My dad had died before I was born in a botched robbery, and my mother worked as a surgeon, meaning she was gone most of the day, coming back home around 9 or 10 at night. So most of my youthful lessons were taught by the show. Every episode entered the same. Dandy, an anthropomorphic dandelion, and his sister, Rosie.
Having like whatever creepy music he's got going on in the background, plus the Minecraft music in the background, really creates like this really neat ambience for some reason.
Daisy and Blue Bonnie would run up a hill, click their heels, which were leaves, face the viewer, and ask how their day had gone. They'd wait for about 5 seconds and would respond. If the episode was oriented about something happy, they'd all smile and say, "That's terrific." If it was oriented around something not happy, they'd all share a small look of unanimous dissatisfaction and say, "Well, ain't that a shame?" Every time I came home from school, I'd divulge into the characters on how my day went. I always would be disappointed when my response didn't match theirs, and it never did. I tallied the times I matched their responses with mine, and I was down by 47 marks to my 0. Regardless, it was nice to see whatever my favorite cast of characters had in store for me that day. However, the static stream of constant enjoyment changed one afternoon. It was a rainy April day, and I'd just gotten home after the torrent of watery sheets had ended its assault on me. I had no homework for the day, and after finishing all of my chores, I galloped upstairs to turn on my TV and pay a visit to my friends. Once again, the episode entered the same way, with Dandy and his sisters dancing up the hill, stopping and asking me how my day had gone. My day had gone pretty poorly. At school, I had a teacher named Mrs. Carl. I was the quiet, nerdy type in elementary school, so Mrs. Carl saw me as easy pickings. She'd berate me day in and day out about how weird I was, how I had no friends, and how I was a loser. Anytime I tried to report
Fuck.
no one believed me. Usually, I didn't respond, but today hurt a lot worse. One of my classmates told her about my dad and used the newfound information as ammunition against me. She'd never hit me, but it felt like she did. It hurt. I confided with Dandy on the issue, how much I hated her, how rude she was, and my anger towards her for being such a jerk. In my endless tirade about how much I deplored her, it hadn't slipped my mind that Dandy hadn't said anything. It had gone well over 5 seconds, but they didn't speak. No interruptions, no exclamations, just nothing. Silence. Even the music had ceased. Once my rant had subsided, I turned to the TV. Their expressions were not the usual ones they wore. They didn't look happy or mildly sad. No, they looked mad. All of them wore this expression of intense grimace, like someone had just told them off or stole something and gotten caught doing it. Dandy looked the angriest. "How rude," he said, his speech sounding as if his teeth were clenched. Blue Bonnie stepped up to the screen, her arms crossed, staring dead at me like a hawk. "People like that are just so bad, right?" she proclaimed.
You said it.
They all announced. Slowly, their expressions of disdain faded. Danny spoke up again.
Well, it's a good thing we're talking about bullies today, huh?
They all shook their heads in approval. The episode transitioned to a school area where they all gathered in what I would guess was the cafeteria. It was rosily colored with hints of bright pink, yellow, green, and red across all the furniture in the room, ranging from tables to art, common colors for a kids' show. Rosie pointed at another flower. He wasn't a part of the usual cast, but they all regarded him with some level of acknowledgement.
That's Miss Wilkins. She's the worst.
Rosie exclaimed.
She's the school bully here. And worst of all, she's the teacher. Everyone is scared of her.
Daisy said. Danny took his place in the center of the screen.
To get a bully off you, sometimes you need to teach them a good lesson. Give them a reason to think twice before messing with you. Right, guys?
They all unanimously uttered a before turning all at once to the screen. Blue Bonnie looked at everyone else.
But won't you get in trouble for something like that?
She said. They all looked at her before turning back to face me.
To get a bully off you, it's worth it.
Their expressions then changed to one of a kinder look, smiling warmly at me before returning to the hill. They all joined in unison to wish me good luck for tomorrow, as they always did, before the credits rolled. I was stunned. It was like the universe had aligned at the exact moment to help me with my problem. But it was the wrong solution. As much as I despised her, it wasn't worth it to get in a whole load of trouble for fighting a teacher. What good would it do to help my problem anyways? I'd have to do some serious damage to her for the bullying to cease. A simple hit to the nose would just make my problems worse. It honestly felt like the advice they had given me was, for the first time, bad. By that moment, the constant pitter-patter of rain had lulled me into a drowsy mess, so I decided to take a quick nap and recuperate. My head touched the soft, comforting surface of my pillow, and I slipped away into my dream. Around 7:30, I awoke to one hell of a wake-up call.
Wake up!
It was violent, aggressive, booming, as thought a prison warden was waking up an inmate. There was no friendliness in the command, and no leeway. Just rage. I popped out of bed like a meerkat that had sensed an impeding threat. But when I did, I saw that the TV had been turned on, and there he was, Dandy. However, strangely enough, his sisters weren't there. The background was dark, nearly pitch black, with only the moon present in the frame. The grass that was usually bright had turned sickly, adorning a new yellowish color.
So, you won't listen.
Dandy said, his eyes furrowed into a deep, burning glare.
We are trying to help you with a problem, like we have for years.
I didn't know what to say. It felt as if my body was stuck. Was this sleep paralysis? Was it a dream?
Do you not like us anymore?
Before I could find the courage
Minecraft
to
is a
stammer
horror
anything
game.
out, his sisters came into the shot.
Because we don't like you. We never liked you.
Their words burned, while my throat felt like it was held in place with barbed wire. Dandy moved forward.
Maybe she's right. Maybe you are a loser.
They all began to snicker. They shot out snaky remarks, commented about my hair, face, and anything they could latch onto. They even bit into my dad's death.
He probably did it on purpose. Who would want to have a son like you?
Jesus, what the fuck is
I bet he
this?
faked his own death to get away from you.
Blue Bonnie said,
Or maybe he did it himself out of disappointment.
before Danny could finish what he was going to say. I shut the TV off. It was a
What
hot
the
mess of
fuck?
tears, snot, and fear balled up on my bed. I couldn't bring myself to move until morning came. It was a Saturday, and my mom was at work still.
You just like the YouTube
She was the
channel.
hospital's best surgeon,
Fair enough.
meaning there were quite a few weekends where she'd been gone for half the day. I wanted to get up out of bed to go make breakfast, but I was still in shock after the incident the night prior. Was it a dream? Was it just my imagination? No, it couldn't have been. I felt everything. All those words, insults, and crude remarks. I felt them all. After much thought, I finally crawled out of bed and went downstairs. The sky had cleared since yesterday, with a bright, beautiful hue of blue and yellow beaming down for all to enjoy. After eating a healthy bowl of cereal, I returned to my room and decided to see if I can get some gaming in. I usually game during the weekends anyways, as my mom didn't let me play during school days. After a couple hours on the console, a familiar yet mellow voice snapped my attention back to the TV.
Hey, friend.
It was Dandy again. In the past, that voice would have been a source of comfort. Now it frightened me. I stood still, my head not daring to look back at the character who had become just as impressive as my teacher.
Look at me. Please.
Danny's voice wasn't violent this time. It had the same warm aura it had before the previous night. He sounded apologetic. I slowly looked over my shoulder. They were all there this time. Dandy, Blue, Bonnie, Daisy, and Rosie. But they weren't standing. They were sitting on the hill. The background had returned to its entrancing bright blue color, and the grass looked healthy again. Everything had returned to normal, apart from the characters. Their faces now expressed a look of urgent, a deep urgent.
We're sorry, friend. We didn't mean to lash out like that.
Bonnie Blue said, her eyes sporting a much brighter, kinder look.
It isn't you. It's us.
Daisy said, her leafy hands clasped together in her lap.
We know you still like us. Really, we do.
Rosie exclaimed. Dandy then took his turn to look at me, his character near the leftmost part of the frame.
We had an issue like you once. Miss Wilkins would treat us badly. She hated every kid she saw in that school. But for us, she hated us the most.
I moved from my chair to standing right in front of the TV, my ears, eyes, and mind completely intertwined with the screen in front of me. It was unbelievable.
She said that we were troubled children who deserved to be alone.
Daisy said.
We had no parents of our own, so we relied on her.
Dandy said.
One day, Mrs. Wilkins said that she had enough with our behavior. She dragged us into the drawing room, locked us in, and left us there.
Blue Bonnie proclaimed. Dandy looked up from his lap, his eyes a constant of sadness and misery.
We never left,
he said.
We don't want the same for you,
Rosie announced.
You made us happy, so we want you to be happy. We just got scared that you might move on the same path.
Dandy said. I smiled at the TV, beaming happiness through their kind words. It was still a show at the end of the day, so I thought that this was their way of teaching courtesy and openness.
But we think it's time for us to say goodbye.
My smile quickly dissipated into a slightly open mouth, my eyes wide with surprise.
You're getting old now, big and strong, just like your dad.
Daisy exclaimed, her smile replacing mine.
We've taught you all we can, friend,
Rosie said. I grasped the TV, words slowly bubbling into my throat of pleas for them to stay.
We always cared about you, even when you were with us back there.
Tommy Taffy.
They all stood up and took each other's hands and smiled, the widest smile I'd ever seen them showcase. My head was pressed up against the glass panel separating me from them, my eyes a waterfall of emotion and distress. I begged them not to leave.
Thank you for tuning in with us, friend.
They all said. Slowly but surely, the screen faded to black, and the big white letters, the words, "The End," covered the screen.
Damn.
And then it cut to static. All that remained was me, weeping and shattered. Years later, on my 16th birthday, after a big party with my closest friends, from who I had many of at that point, my mom called me into the living room. I thought that maybe there was another present waiting for me, so I eagerly waltzed into the room with an immense pep in my step. But my mom did not share my enthusiasm. She looked sullen and tense.
Sit down, please.
She said, her voice controlled and centered, yet anxious. I complied, my own appearance visibly moving downward into a look of paralleled seriousness.
I know that it's your big day, but we need to talk about something. Something I've been meaning to tell you for a while.
What proceeded to be said to me shook the core of my world forever. My mom told me that, while it was true that my dad had died in a botched robbery, he wasn't truly my real dad, and that she wasn't my real mom. I had lost my original family a year after I was born in a car accident on the freeway after a truck had lost control and slammed into the side of their car. They died on impact. I was lucky, as I had been at daycare, which they were coming to pick me up from. I had no extended family, so I was put in a foster care program and adopted by a woman named Miss Wilkins, who was a boarding school teacher in her past. According to Mom, she was an extremely cruel woman who would regularly beat her adopted children for the littlest of reasons, ranging from breathing too loud to having a cough. One day, however, she went too far when 4 of her children, after supposedly protecting me from a vicious beating, were locked in a room for a week. They didn't come back out. The other kids, including myself, were not let out of the house after that to avoid any of us telling another person what she had done to them. Eventually, the neighbors noticed how we weren't ever leaving and called the police. Miss Wilkins was sent into
Turn it off, I'm
was stunned,
afraid.
unable to move, as though I was locked in place by my feet.
Take as much time as you need to process this. I'm right here.
My mother said. As my mind began to make sense of it all, I started having sparks fire off in my brain. Miss Wilkins. I could have sworn I knew that name from somewhere. Wilkins. And then it hit me like a boulder rolling down a hill. Miss Wilkins, the teacher from the show. I rushed out of the living room, up to my bedroom, and threw my computer open at almost lightning-fast speed. I looked up the case, typing everything I could in, praying I could find something. 4 of the 5 searches popped up generic results of other horrendous foster parents, but then, on my 5th search, I found it. Boarding school teacher charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder after locking children in room. I scrolled through the article, and everything aligned with what my mom had said. There was no mention of my name anywhere, but the presence of them defending another kid was in the article. Along with it, photos of the drawings they made while locked inside were posted onto the article itself, all of them as flowers. At the bottom, it listed the names of the deceased children. My heart sank. My jaw followed its motion. Rosalina Matthews, Bonneville Lee, Daisy McMullen, Daniel Morello. I had no words. I had no movement. It felt as if the world itself had spun upside down, and I was bearing the brunt of it. I snapped out of my haze. I looked up the cartoon. I searched for what felt like hours. Nothing. Not a single mention of any show titled Dandy's Wondrous Adventures. It made no sense. What the hell was I watching then? Did I imagine it? Was I going through some sort of trauma-induced hallucination? It shattered
What the
what little grip
fuck?
on reality I had left at that moment. Their names, the show, the antagonists of that one rainy day. It all neatly funneled into one case that I had apparently been involved with when I was just a toddler. And yet, it only added more complexities and more
Like
emotions.
Paris Cove, 1999.
Confusion, sadness, empathy, and finally, courage. I'm 28 now, and I have been an animator for over 8 years. Recently, I pitched the idea of Dandy's Wondrous Adventures to the board, and just yesterday, it was approved. I did it for them. Whether or not the show I watched was real, this one will be. And I want it to help people just like me, just like them. I've never told anyone this story, and I never planned to, until today. As of writing this, I received an envelope at my door from an anonymous writer. All it says on the front of your envelope is, "From your friends." Inside the envelope was a crumpled, old, worn piece of paper. It looked as though it had been set out in the sun for years. On one side of the paper was a drawing, as though it was made by a kid, or rather a group of kids, as the styles are all different. It looked fresh, completely out of place with the worn down canvas that had been used. And the drawings, just them, the characters, they all adorn beautiful white wings and halos above their heads, while a small, pretty purple butterfly guides them towards the sun. All of them are hand in hand, just like the last time I saw them. On the back, in four corners of the paper, in yellow, indigo, red, and white, were the same phrase again and again, yet the meaning and significance of the phrase remained constant. Thank you. In the middle, a heart presented itself with it colored in quadrants, the same color used for the messages. Thank you too, friends.
What the fuck? I was not expecting that story to turn towards fucking murder case horror story. What the fuck, dude? Okay. Well, Jesus. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go make some food really quick. Work is closed tomorrow. Hell yeah. Chip bag ASMR. Damn, that bitch is loud. Wrist pass crunch. I'm waiting for my food in the microwave to finish heating up, so I'm eating some chips and dip. Bye, Rose. I have not seen the Taco Bell dip. Love you too, Rose. Well, if it's good, I might have to try it sometime. Have you tried any of the new drinks that they've put out? Their strawberry matcha one's pretty good. I'll wait for the ads to pass by before I start up the next one. They've got like a whole cafe and everything now. just noticed the ad break ended. Hold on.
We don't look at the moon here. The first thing you notice about my uncle's place isn't the silence, it's the light, or lack of it. He lives, out past where the country paves the road, in a hollow so deep the sun seems to give up an hour early. The house is a slumped thing of weathered gray wood, crouching under a canopy of ancient oaks that have been grown twisted, reaching away from the clearing as if trying to escape. I hadn't seen him in over a decade, not since I was a kid. The call from his neighbor, Marnie, came as a shock. "Ethan's took poorly," she'd said, her voice crackling down the line like a dry leaf underfoot. "He's asking for kin, says the same things in the walls are talking to him again." She made it sound like a reoccurring flu, not dementia or psychosis. I was the only kin left who could come. The drive was a form of sensory deprivation. The lush green of the state park gradually bled into a monotonous corridor of pine and scrub, the sky shrinking into a narrow ribbon of washed-out blue above the dirt road. When I finally pulled up to the property, the absence of sound was a physical pressure. No birds, no insects, just the low, mournful groan of the wind working its way through the pines. Manny was waiting on the porch, a woman carved from gristles and worm.
Yeah, 1 second.
She didn't smile. Her eyes, the color of old river stones, scanned me up and down before flicking nervously towards the tree line. "He's inside," she said, her voice low. "Ain't been himself. You'll see." She handed me a key, cold and heavy in my palm. "There's rules here, boy. Best you learn quick." Rules?" I asked, shouldering my duffel bag. She pointed a knobby finger at me. "The main one. The important one. Come nightfall, you keep them curtains drawn tight. No matter what you hear, no matter what you think you see in the cracks. And you don't. You look at me now. You don't look at the moon. Not here." I almost laughed. It was so absurd, so backwoods superstition. "Okay," I said, humoring her. "No looking at the moon, I got it." Her face tightened. "You think I'm telling tales? That's fine. Your uncle thought so too. His first time. Learned different." She turned to go, pausing at the edge of the porch. "We all learn different." The inside of the house smelled of dust, methyl balm, and something else underneath. A sweet, coppery tang, like old metal left out in the damp. Uncle Ethan was a shriveled form in a large bed in the front room. His breathing, a wet, ragged sound. His eyes were open, but they didn't track me. They were fixed on the ceiling, wide with a terror so absolute it seemed to have hollowed him out. I tried to speak to him, to tell him who I was. His head loitered towards me, and a thread of saliva dropped into his pillow. His
Ew.
lips, chapped and cracked, moved silently for a moment before he managed to whisper. "It's almost time," he rasped. "It's so hungry. Can you hear it? Scratching." I heard nothing, just the groan of an old house settling and whispering of the winds outside. I settled into a worn armchair, the reality of the situation crashing down on me. This wasn't a weekend visit, this was a vigil. The first night was the longest of my life. As true darkness fell, a profound stillness descended on the hollow. The wind died completely. The silence wasn't empty anymore, it was thick, expectant. I pulled the thick velvet curtains closed. just as Marnie had said, plugging the room into a stuffy blackness broken only by the soft glow of a battery-powered lamp. And then the sounds began, not from the walls, but from the outside. It started as a soft, rhythmic scraping, like a heavy branch being dragged across the roof. Scrape. Pause. Scrape. I froze, my heart hammering against my ribs. Uncle Ethan whimpered in his sleep. The scraping stopped. The silence that was followed was worse. It was the silence of something listening. Then came the whispers. They weren't coming from one place. They seemed to emanate from the very air, a chorus of faint sibilant voices just on the edge of hearing. I couldn't make out any words, only a sense of immense, patient longing. A cold dread, primal and absolute, seeped into my bones. I understood then, in a way that bypassed all logic, that Marnie wasn't guarding me from superstitions. She was giving me the only survival instruction that mattered. I didn't sleep. I sat rigid in that chair, my knuckles white on the armrest, praying for dawn. The days were a blurry-eyed blur of caring for my uncle, trying to get broth into him, cleaning him up. The fear of the night bled into the daylight, casting long shadows over everything. I started noticing things. The way the local folks in the nearby shantytown, a handful of houses clinging to the main road, would never look up at the sky. They walked their heads slightly burrowed, their movement hurried, as if they were out near dusk. Their eyes, like Manny's, had that same flat, wary fear. On the third night, the curiosity began to gnaw at me. What was out there? What could possibly be so bad? The human mind is a self-destructive thing. It needs to know. The whispered rule, we don't look at the moon here, became a constant itch in my brain. The sounds were worse that night. The scraping was more insistent, now accompanied by a low vibrational hum that made my teeth ache. The whispers were clearer, though no more intelligible. They were full of want and infinite yawning hunger. And then a sliver of silver light. I draw the curtains tight, but one had caught on a splinter in the windowsill, leaving a gap no wider than a pencil. A beam of moonlight, cold and clear, cut through the stiffening dark of the room and fell directly on my uncle's face. His eyes, which had been closed, snapped open. They were no longer clouded with age or sickness. They were wide, terrified, and utterly aware. He stared at the silver light, and a choked sound escaped his throat. His head turned slowly, mechanically towards me. His mouth opened, but it wasn't his voice that came out. It was a composite, a horrific symphony of all the whispers from outside funneled through the dying vocal cords. It was the sound of dry leaves skittering on stone, of meat being torn from bone, of deep subterranean water flowing through dark places. Look, it commanded. Every cell in my body screamed to obey. It wasn't a request, it was a gravitational pull. My head began to turn towards the window. I fought it, my muscles trembling with the strain. I squeezed my eyes shut. Look at us. I could feel it, just beyond the glass. A presence of such immense, ancient mass that it defined shape. It was in the light. It was the light. The moon wasn't a thing in the sky. It was an eye, and it was looking in, and it was hungry. With a sob of sheer effort, I wrenched my body from that chair and stumbled across the room. I fumbled for the curtain, my fingers numb and clumsy. The voice from my uncle's bed rose to a screeching, multi-layered keen of frustration. My hands closed on the fabric. I yanked it shut, plugging the room into absolute darkness. The sound stopped. The silence returned. I slid down the wall, grasping, my entire body shaking. I didn't move until the first gray light of dawn filtered through the curtains. Uncle Ethan was dead. His head was turned towards the window, his eyes wide open, frozen in an expression of terminal awe. But that wasn't the worst of it. His mouth was still open, and inside it wasn't a tongue. It was a cluster of thin, pale, root-like filaments, dry and withered, clutching at nothing. I ran. I left him there. I didn't pack my things. I just ran to my car and sped down that dirt road as if all the devils in hell were at my bumper. I ended up at the dusty general store on the main road, babbling to the old man behind the counter. I told him everything. The sounds, the voices, my uncle. He listened, his face a grim mask. He didn't seem surprised. When I finished, he just nodded slowly. Ethan always was a curious one. Paid the price for it. He wiped the counter with a rag. That, thing out there, it ain't the moon. The moon's just a rock in the sky. This is something else. Something that got stuck here long time ago. It hangs there in the same spot, behind the light. And it's lonely. So lonely. It wants to be seen. It wants to be known. And when you look at it, you let it in. It plants a piece of itself in you. It grows in the dark beyond your eyes. He looked at me, and for the first time his eyes met mine. They were full of pity that chilled me to my soul. You didn't look, boy. You fought it, that's good. He paused, his next words landing like a shovel of dirt on a coffin. But it saw you fight. It knows you resisted. It doesn't get that often. It likes that. I got out of that town. I drove until the gas light came on, and then I kept driving. I'm in a motel now, 100 miles away. The curtains are drawn. It's a clear night. I can feel it, though. A faint, persistent pull at the base of my skull. A whisper in the hum of the motel's air conditioning. It's a clear night. The moon is full. And I have this unbearable, terrifying urge to go outside and look up. The missing posters. I've been a police officer for 10 years. A few weeks ago, I found my niece's face on a missing poster. The date on it was the day I found it. I started my shift just like any other, with a cup of coffee. 10 years on the job. Caffeine's basically part of the uniform. Get to work, throw on my uniform, grab the keys to my sector car, get the coffee flowing through my veins as fast as possible. My routine rarely strays. I stop at the same coffee shop 5 minutes from the precinct. They know my name. They know my order. I could walk in half asleep and still leave with exactly what I need. While I waited at the counter, my eyes drifted over to the corkboard near the door. The one layered with half-torn flyers and yellow business cards. Landscapers looking for work. A babysitter trying to pick up extra hours. A dog walker for people too lazy or too busy to do it themselves. Just as my name was called, something new caught my eye. A missing poster. I don't remember ever seeing one there before. Maybe I never paid attention. I grabbed my coffee and stepped towards the board. I took a closer look, tugging the paper free from its thumbtack. The photo stopped me cold. It wasn't a blurry security image or a kid who looked kind of familiar. It was my niece. Her school photo. The same one my sister keeps on the fridge. The same one I carry in my wallet. Above the picture, bold black letters, missing, last seen. The date written on there was the same day I was standing in the coffee shop holding it. I didn't have time to be confused. My hands were already patting my pockets, searching for my phone, when I realized it was still in my car. I ran, shoulder checking the door on my way out, nearly spilling someone's latte as I pushed past. No missed calls, no voicemails, no text. I hit my sister's number. No answer. Tried again. Nothing. I kept calling the whole drive over. Each ring felt longer than the last. I pulled up hard in front of their house, tires scraping against the curb. My niece's scooter was still on the porch from the night before, lying on its side. I rang the bell, then knocked and called her name. The door flew open. My sister stood there, wet hair, bathrobe disheveled, eyes wide like she just run from the shower. For a second, she just stared at me, confused, trying to place why I was there. Then she saw the crumpled flyer in my hand. The color drained from her face.
What happened?
She whispered. I stepped inside. She knew something was wrong before I said a word. I held out the paper. Look at this. Her eyes went wide. For a second, she didn't breathe.
What the hell is this? She's fine. She's at school.
Are you sure?
Yes, I saw her get on the bus just like every morning.
Call the school. Now, they said.
You're scaring me. Why wouldn't she be there?
Just call, please. She grabbed her phone with shaking hands. I turned away, trying to keep my head clear. I needed to radio this in, tell a supervisor something. There was no chance in hell I could finish my shift without knowing she was safe. I walked into the kitchen, trying to gather my thoughts, my mind racing. The fridge caught my eye. The picture, her school photo, the one that I had grown accustomed to seeing, was gone. I went back to the living room, my sister standing still, phone slipping from her hand. It hit the floor and bounced once against her bare foot.
You asked that, but like that, I feel like that's honestly probably something pretty common. Because it's still like a family member. I think I've got, they're not in my wallet, but I do have like one or two pictures of my nephews. But that was because my dad gave me his old recliner, and they had apparently fallen into his recliner, so they fell out of the recliner when he gave it to us. So I have accidental pictures of my nephews. But it's okay. It's still great. 0 pictures. I mean, fair. Not everybody's very family oriented.
Tears filled her eyes.
She never made it.
She whispered. I called my supervisor and explained the situation. Told him we had a missing juvenile. Told him about the missing poster I'd found. He assured me that all hands would be on deck and told me to wait there so my sister and I could give statements when the other officers and detectives arrived. Even though my sister was distraught, we still needed answers. I asked her about the missing photo from the fridge. She looked confused.
I never took that photo down. Why would I?
The pit that had already settled in my stomach starting to feel like it was spreading through the rest of my body. I told my sister not to move and stood up slowly. I took the gun from my holster and began to clear the house. Something hung over the place. I can't put my words to it, but it didn't feel right. The last room left to check was my niece's. I opened the door and stepped inside, ready to confront anyone or anything I saw. Her room was a disaster. Clothes on the floor, toys everywhere, half-finished drawings on the desk. Now, it was spotless. Bed made with perfect corners, toys put away in every bin they belonged in, no clothes on the floor, not even the dust on the dresser. I called for my sister. She came into the doorway and froze.
Did you clean this? Did she clean this?
I asked.
No.
Her voice was flat, empty. She broke down crying. The first unit showed up less than 10 minutes after I called it in. Blue lights rolled across the front of the house, painting the walls. 2 uniforms came through the door, calm but moving fast. One of them knew me. He didn't say anything, just gave me a small nod that seemed to say, "We got it from here." I holstered my weapon and stepped back towards the kitchen. The energy drained out of me all at once. I could feel the weight of the gun pulling at my belt, the sweat drying cold under my vest. A detective arrived next, followed by crime scene techs. They moved quietly, professionally. My sister sat at the table with a blanket over her shoulders, answering the same questions again and again. I tried to focus on the facts of my statement, time, location, who found what, but my mind kept jumping back to that room. A tech brushed powder over the doorframe, then over the dresser. Nothing but smudges. He went to the window next. After a minute, he called the detective over. They had found prints on the inside glass. Small ones. Too small to be mine, too defined to be old. Outside, the radio crackled. More units conveying the neighborhood, checking the bus stop, talking to anyone awake. I stood by the front window, watching the reflection of red and blue pulse across the street. Then a voice came over the radio.
Dispatch, we got something at the bus stop. Another poster. Different photo, same handwriting.
Everyone in the room went still. The detective looked at me. "Stay here," he said quietly, and headed for the door. I watched him leave, lights spilling after him into the dark. I wasn't about to just stand there, so I followed. The photo seemed to be taken that morning. My niece, standing at the bus stop, backpack on, head turns towards the street. The detective asked, "You take this?" I didn't answer, because we both knew I had it. The detective kept the photo sealed in an evidence sleeve. He told me to go home and get some rest, let them handle the canvas. I nodded, but we both know I wasn't going to sleep. My sister needed me. My niece needed me. I walked back to the house to tell my sister what we'd seen. Her world was crashing down around her. She shouldn't
You got a call from your union rep. You gotta go back to work Monday. Damn. That sucks.
be alone. I convinced her to grab a few things and come stay with me until we figured this out. With no other choice, she agreed. We stopped by the precinct to pick up my personal car. No getting words between us. I looked over at her. We're gonna find her. I'm going to find her. No response. She just stared out the window. When we pulled into my driveway, I got out first and grabbed her bag from the back seat. The porch light flickered once we walked up. Something was stuck to the door. Even before I read it, I knew what it was. Another missing poster. Another different photo. It was from my birthday. My niece hugging me, both of us smiling at the camera. A picture that only I had. A picture that was in my living room. The detectives came to sweep my house. The door frame showed no forced entry, no prints. The birthday photo was gone. That night, sleep never came. My sister was on the couch, the TV still playing from where we'd left it. The volume was low, a soft hum under the silence. I checked the doors twice, and a third time, every lock, every window. When I walked back into the living room, my sister had finally drifted off, exhaustion winning over panic. I went to grab another blanket for her. That's when I noticed the empty space on the wall. I couldn't believe someone had been in my house. I couldn't believe any of this was happening. Then I heard it. A faint whirling sound from the hall. I followed it towards my office. It grew louder, steady. When I opened the door, the printer on my desk was running. Pages.
But now it's just December 9th. Ah. I feel like I remember you telling me about this, but I don't quite remember it.
Spilling onto the floor. I stepped closer and I picked one up. A missing poster. Same format, same bold letters. Each one was a different photo of my niece. While gathering the flyers from the printer, I stayed on edge. Every sound in the house felt like louder than it should have been. The hum of the machine wasn't just a noise anymore, it was a crawling under my skin. Then I heard a scream. My sister. I sprinted towards the living room. I grabbed my gun off the kitchen counter as I passed. She was on the couch, folded in on herself, sobbing so hard she could barely breathe. I wanted to go to her to tell her it was okay, but my training kicked in. Stay vigilant. Stay alert. What happened?
Vigilant.
I asked, moving towards the window. I peeled the blinds open just enough to see outside. Nothing. Just the soft yellow of the streetlight bleeding across the lawn. I checked the locks and the doors and the windows. Everything was still secure. She could barely get the words out, her voice shaking between each breath, but I heard her. I saw a flash. Someone took a picture outside the window. I told my sister to call 911 and not to move. I stepped outside, gun drawn, scanning the yard. Nothing. No movement, no footprints, no sign anyone had been there. I approached the bay window of the living room. Still nothing. Just as I started to catch my breath and turn back towards the house, a blinding light hit me. The flash of a camera. Before I could react, my head slammed against the glass. I heard my sister scream, her voice faded into static. When I came to, she was still screaming my name. Lights and sirens echoed off of what was left of the window.
Stay down, an ambulance is on the way.
I'm fine, I shouted, trying to stand. I wasn't fine. My vision was blurred. Blood was running down my face. My legs could barely hold me. I tried to hide the pain. But then I saw it, lying next to me on the ground. The photo. It was me, right before the attack. I should have given it to the detectives. I mean, it was evidence after all. But this wasn't just a case anymore. It was personal. If anyone was gonna find my niece, if anyone was gonna find the monster doing this to us, it was gonna be me. The EMTs started working on me, but I told them I wasn't going to the hospital. They tried to insist, but that ended fast once they realized I wasn't changing my mind. After the officers and the detectives finished questioning us and taking our statements, they told us to spend the night somewhere else. Both of our houses were off limits now. They didn't feel like ours anymore. We didn't feel safe. My niece, her daughter, was still missing. And the bastard who did all of this, he was playing games with us. We got a hotel room just before sunrise. I sat on the edge of my bed and reached into my pocket. The photo was still there. I stared at my own shocked face, trying to think, trying to make sense of it, but my head was still too foggy to stir. But my head was still too foggy to string a single thought together. I turned the photo over. 3 words were written on the back. She is perfect.
Oh. Damn, and that one just
Single
ends like
mother
that?
with a daughter that just turned 4 last week. During mornings, she likes to watch TV before I leave for work and the babysitter comes over. She sits there, gobbing down cereal and occasionally bibling nonsense. It's adorable, really. To say we're tight on money now is an understatement. I can barely afford to keep the lights on, but every time I grimace at a new bill in the mail, there she is to put me out of my storm. Smiling, laughing, My little ball of sunshine. She doesn't have many toys, not new ones at least. I typically end up buying her used toys from a messy aisle at Goodwill, but a couple days ago, a commercial popped up on TV. I was in the kitchen, cooking breakfast, when I heard her yelling for me to come into the living room. I ran out, initially thinking something was wrong, before I saw her pointing at the TV, excitedly. Spoon forgot on the floor.
Mommy, look.
The commercial showed several children talking to a doll, feeding it fake food, dressing it up. I watched it for about 20 seconds before it ended, and a choir of children sang.
I want that toy. I want that toy, Mommy, please.
She begged, standing up and practically bouncing on her heels. The toy was slightly high technology, given its AI voice recognition feature, making it around $25. I really didn't have much money to spend, but God, those eyes of her, and I was getting paid that day. I knelt down, pulling her close, the scent of maple syrup in her hair filling my nose.
Phoebe, huh?
I murmured, tucking a stray curl behind her ear. Her eyes, wide and hopeful, stared back at me. They were the same deep brown as mine, but how the sparkle I sometimes felt I lost somewhere along the way.
Yes, she talks, Mommy. And I can feed her. Please, please, please.
My heart ached. $25 might as well have been $2,500 right now. But then I remembered once again, today was payday. It wouldn't be much after bills, but maybe, just maybe. I murmured, trying to sound thoughtful rather than terrified of my bank balance.
She looks like a very special doll, Sweet Pea. Mommy has to go to work now, but I'll think about it, okay? It's a big decision for a talking doll.
I gave her a squeeze, hoping the hesitation in my voice wasn't too obvious. I saw the slight flicker of disappointment, but then her face brightened.
You'll really think about it, really?
Really, I confirmed, kissing the top of her head. Now, let's get you finished up with breakfast before Miss Carol gets here, all right? She nodded, a determined little bounce in her step as she walked back to her bowl, though I noticed her eyes kept drifting back to the now empty screen where Phoebe had been just moments before. I watched her for a moment, a fierce love swelling in my chest. If I could give her the moon, I would. For now, I'd settle for seeing if I can swing a talking doll. The morning rush was a blur after that. A quick hug from my daughter, a rushed handover with Mrs. Carroll, and then I was out the door. The chill morning air doing little to cool the financial anxieties swinging in my mind. The image of those hopeful brown eyes, though, stayed with me. A tiny, persistent tug on my conscience. It was just past noon when my phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out, expecting another goddamn work email, but it was a text from Mrs. Carroll. Hey, quick update. Your little one is as adorable as ever, but she's been going on and on about Feed Me Phoebe since you left. I think you have a new mission on your hands. I smiled, a genuine tired smile. Mission accepted, Mrs. Carroll. Mission accepted. The rest of work crawled by, each minute ticking slower than the last. My mind kept replaying that commercial, my daughter's beaming face, and Miss Carroll's text. When my shift finally ended, I practically flew out the door, making a beeline for the nearest Walmart. The toy aisle was a chaotic symphony of primary colors and plastic. I found the Feed Me Phoebe display, a towering wall of iconic dolls, each packaged in a bright pink box. My heart did a little flutter kick of anxiety as I picked one up, the price tag staring back at me, $25. It was a significant chunk of what was left after rent and groceries, but then I imagined those wide, hopeful brown eyes and, well, the doll was in my cart before I can second-guess myself. The drive home felt endless. I clutched the steering wheel, the pink box rattling softly in my passenger seat, a strange mix of dread and anticipation churning in my stomach. When I finally pulled into my driveway, my daughter was already peeking through the living room window. Her face lightened up the moment she saw my car.
Mommy's home,
She shrieked, Miss Carroll's gentle laughter following her as she burst out the front door. I met her halfway, kneeling down and pulling the box from behind my back. Her eyes went wide, then impossibly wider. A gasp escaped her lips, and she threw her arms around my neck, squeezing me so tight I thought I lost my breath.
Oh my gosh, Phoebe, you got her, you really did.
Her joy was infectious, washing away the last vestiges of my financial worry. We spent the next hour in her living room. She ripped open the box with enthusiasm that belied her small size, carefully pulling out the doll. Phoebe had big blue eyes, rosy cheeks, and a perpetual, cheerful smile. She came with a tiny plastic bottle and a spoon.
Say something, Phoebe.
My daughter commanded, holding the doll up. Phoebe blinked her big eyes.
Hi, I'm Phoebe. What's your name?
Her sweet
Ew.
synthesized voice chimed. My daughter giggled, a sound that was pure music to my ears.
I'm Fiona, but Mommy calls me Fifi.
I leaned in, ruffling her hair.
That's right, Sweet Pea. You know, Phoebe kind of sounds like Fifi, doesn't it?
I winked. She considered this, then nodded eagerly.
It does.
The rest of the evening was a blur of feeding Phoebe imaginary food, dressing her up in tiny outfits, and listening to her repeat programmed phrases. My daughter was utterly enchanted. It was worth every penny. I decided, watching her pure, unadulterated happiness. Bedtime came, and my daughter, exhausted but still buzzing with excitement, insisted Phoebe sleep right next to her. I tucked them both in, kissing her forehead.
Sleep tight, my little Fifi. And you too, Phoebe. Good night, Mommy.
She mumbled, already drifting off. I closed her door, almost all the way, leaving a sliver open for the nightlight to peek through. I went to the kitchen, tidying up, the quiet hum of the refrigerator the only sound. I was just about to head to my own room when a faint, metallic whisper drifted from my daughter's room. I paused, listening. It was Phoebe's voice, but it sounded different. Not the cheerful, programmed tone from earlier. It was lower, slower, almost conspirational.
Fifi,
The doll whispered.
do you ever get scared when Mommy leaves?
I cocked an eyebrow. That was a weird question. I crept closer to the door, pressing my ear against the wood. Silence for a moment. Then my daughter's sleepy, muffled voice.
Sometimes. And what do you do then, Fifi?
Phoebe's voice was unnervingly soft. Another pause.
I wait for her to come back. But what if she doesn't come back?
The doll asked, the words dripping with an unsettling sweetness.
What if she goes away forever?
My breath hitched in my throat. It's gotta be the program glitching or something. It's AI after all. Maybe it's just veering off track. Many modern AIs do that. I walked in slowly, giving a nervous smile to my daughter, who looked a bit scared from the doll's question.
I'm gonna turn Phoebe off until the morning so you can get some sleep. Okay, darling?
I said softly. She nodded, too tired to protest. I flipped off the switch and tucked her in, giving her a tired kiss on the forehead before walking slowly out of the room, shutting the door with a soft click. I walked slowly to my own room, the soft click of Fiona's door echoing unnervingly in the quiet house. My mind was a whirlwind. What was that? I replayed Phoebe's chilling whispers. What if she goes away forever? What if it wasn't just a glitch, or the AI veering off track? It felt intentional. A cold knot tightening in my stomach. I got into bed, but sleep was a distant dream. Every rustle of the sheets sounded like a whisper, every creak of the house like a metallic whirring. I tossed and turned, staring at the ceiling, my heart thumping a restless rhythm. Was it just a faulty toy, or was there something more sinister at play? The image of Fiona's wide, scared eyes flashed in my mind. I chastised myself for buying such a thing, for letting my financial worries be overshadowed by a momentarily indulgence. The minutes stretched into hours, each one heavier than the last, until finally, exhaustion, a heavy blanket pulled me under. The alarm jolted me awake, its cheerful beeping a stark contrast from the lingering unease in my head. I felt groggy and unrested, a slight headache throbbing behind my eyes. I dragged myself out of bed, the memory of last night's incident still fresh in my head. The house was quiet. Fiona must be asleep. I padded to the kitchen, brewed coffee, and started packing her lunch, moving through the motions of the morning routine on autopilot. The sun was just beginning to peek through the window. casting long, pale shadows across the living room. Just as I was buttering a piece of toast, a small, sleepy figure appeared in the kitchen doorway.
Morning, Mommy.
Fiona mumbled, rubbing her eyes.
Morning, Sleepy.
I replied, forcing a smile.
You sleep well?
She nodded, still half asleep. I'm gonna go play with Phoebe. She turned to head back to her room, her small hands reaching for the doorframe, but in her sleepy haze, she misjudged the distance. Her little finger got caught between the doorframe and the rapidly closing door.
Ow!
She yelped, a sharp, surprised cry. She pulled her hand back, her face crumpling with tears wailed in her eyes.
My finger!
I rushed to her side, scooping her up.
Oh, sweetie, let Mommy see.
I examined the finger, already red and starting to swell slightly. It wasn't broken, thankfully, but it was clearly painful. I kissed it gently. Let's get some ice on that. No playing with Phoebe just yet, okay? She nodded miserably, still sniffing, allowing me to carry her back towards her room, where I knew there was a small first aid kit. After putting ice on her finger for a couple minutes, she calmed down. I gave her a kiss on the forehead. I settled Fiona on the sofa with a cartoon for a few minutes, making sure the ice pack stayed put, then went back to the kitchen to finish packing her lunch and grab my purse. The house felt too quiet again, the kind of quiet that held its breath. I kept glancing towards the living room, a residual knot of anxiety still tight in my stomach. It was just a toy, I told myself. A very expensive, very glitchy toy. As I reached for my car keys, a high-pitched, saccharine voice drifted from the living room. It was Phoebe. The voice was perfectly clear, devoid of the metallic static from the night before, making it all the more unsettling.
Oh, poor thing, Fiona. That nasty door hurts you. Does Phoebe need to kiss the boo-boo on your finger? A special, very big kiss?
The words hung in the air, sickeningly sweet. Before Fiona could reply verbally, a sound ripped through the air. Not a tearful whimper, but a sharp, panicked, animalistic scream of pure agony.
Mommy, no, this hurts. Get it off.
I dropped the car keys, the sound swallowed by the sudden, horrific noise. I sprinted back down the hall, my heart hammering against my ribs, a cold dread flooding my mouth. I burst into the living room. Fiona was sitting on the floor, weeping hysterically, desperately pulling her arm away from the doll. Phoebe was tilted forward, leaning into Fiona's hand. Its plastic face was expressionless, its synthetic eyes wide and blue, but its sophisticated, articulate jaw, the one designed to stimulate complex speech and chewing, was clamped down. It had bitten her, but it
What
hadn't
the
just
fuck?
nibbled her. There was a sickening, wet crack,
Ugh.
squelch sound as I watched. The doll's internal motors whirred loudly, working hard against the resistance. Blood, bright artillery red, was pulsing and oozing out around the edges of the doll's mouth, coating the pristine white plastic in a horrific, slick glaze. Bones crunched and snapped from under the pressure, and I could see a white nub sticking out from the red. Fiona's index finger was being actively pulverized. The metallic teeth, designed for lifelike interactions, were now grinding with unfeeling, programmed precision. I could see the sickening result of the grinding. Tiny shards of bones and shredded pink-white tissue were visible, mixing with the thick, coppery blood that dripped onto the carpet. The doll was chewing, its mechanical jaw hinges flexing and straining as it works its way through flesh and cartilage. The sheer
What the
unthinking
fuck?
brutality of the attack, the cold, wearing mechanism destroying my daughter's body, paralyzed me, but for only a split second. Then a guttural scream tore itself from my throat. A sound of pure material horror. I lunged forward, not thinking, just reacting. My hand slapped blindly against the doll's rigid plastic back, searching frantically for the recessed power switch. My finger found the tiny nub. Click. The roaring stopped instantly. The jaw went slack. The blue eyes stared blankly. Phoebe released the mangled, ruined stub of Fiona's finger. Fiona didn't stop screaming. She only screamed louder, clutching the oozing, devastated ruin of her hand to her chest. I looked down at the doll's pristine cheek, now streaked with my daughter's blood, and the metallic coppery smell of the damage filled the air. The doll lay silent, a grotesque, blood-splattered parody of a child. Its off switch flipped, leaving only the sound of my daughter's ragged, agonizing sobs. It was 10 minutes before we arrived at the emergency room. I brought the doll with me. I removed its batteries as I drove, shakily.
It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
I just kept saying like a damn mantra. She wailed and sobbed in the back seat. I demanded the emergency room staff see us immediately. She was bleeding out, goddammit. The doctors looked dumbfounded. They couldn't even make any goddamn sense of it. There was no reason for the mechanical mouth of a doll to be strong enough to pulverize a human finger, they told me, begrudgingly, that they wouldn't be able to reattach it. But I already knew that. What I saw in the doll's mouth when I pulled it away didn't even resemble a finger anymore. They put her under anesthesia and stitched her back up. She is left with a nub. A goddamn nub instead of a finger. And she's only fucking 4 years old. It's been a few days since the incident. I stayed home from work since then, watching over her and pampering her the best I can. I called the company that made the doll today, and it went straight to voicemail. I've tried every number of every goddamn factory, location, and HQ they've had, and every time it went to voicemail. I'm at a loss. I'm fucking devastated. Fiona's condition has improved significantly, but if I can't stop remembering the sight of her finger being mauled by a goddamn doll, I'm sure she can't stop remembering how it felt. Reddit, please. Have you ever heard of this goddamn doll? Or had any similar strange or terrifying experiences with a toy?
Mm-hmm.
Because I need help.
Okay. I know you said be right back, Max, but I'm going to be ending stream right here, actually. I've got roughly a little hour before work. Let's see. I'm hoping that maybe work gets canceled tomorrow, so I don't have to go to work. If there's no work tomorrow, I will definitely do a Pokemon stream. But yes, we're gonna end this here. Thank you to everybody. Oh, I only sent ad free. I didn't do raid. I'm stupid. There we go. Thank you to everybody who stopped by and hung out. I will see you guys maybe tomorrow, more than likely Monday. Have a good night, good day, whatever have you, and thank you guys for stopping by. Bye.